Hi StarPoint. I'm going to show you how to make an assembly drawing now. And this is an assembly. I'm going to go to my isometric view. So I'm going to show you how to create this entire drawing right here. And I'm going to actually delete this whole thing just to give us a fresh start. Right click. And let's see, delete should be on here. Delete 5 items. There it is. Okay, so you're going to start your assembly. If you notice across the bottom, I've got my parts, right? Green part, red part, blue part, black part, and orange part. And then I have this tab called Assembly, which is what I just deleted so that I could show you how to do this. So the first thing I need to do is I need to decide how I'm going to put the cube together. And I'm going to put this green part in first and work from there with this thing. So when you do an assembly, the first tool that you're going to use is called Insert. And you get a list of all your parts right here. So my green one is the one that I'm going to put in first. So I click. And what you'll notice when I bring my cursor out here is that the part is attached to my cursor. But because this is the first part that I'm putting in, I want it to be in relation to this origin right here. And the way you do that is you just hit the green check mark. And by the way, my view's a little zoomed out. I'm going to show you a key here. This is the F key, which stands for full. It zooms the part nice and big on my screen. So if you're ever way zoomed out, you can do that. There's another thing you can do too. You can double click on the center mouse wheel. We've been doing that. Or you can just click on the corner of the view cube and it will do a full zoom for you. Alright, so now I've got one part in here, but it will still be able to be moved around. I can still move it, which I don't want it to do. I want this one anchored in place. And by the way, to undo something that you accidentally do, you just use that undo tool right there. So now, excuse me, what I'm going to do is I am going to insert the next part, but not until I go on to this part and I right click and I fix it in place. Now I'll click and move and it won't go any place because it's been fixed. So I'm going to use the insert tool again now. And this time my next part is right here. This is a blue one. So I'm going to put in this blue part. I'm going to bring it and put it over here. And I'll hit the green check mark. And I'll hit the F key for full. And this part isn't actually supposed to be oriented in this direction. I have to spin this thing and turn it around. Now, the way you go about doing that is you just put your cursor on the part and you click. And what this is going to do is this is going to give me the ability to actually turn the part. You see these little things? This one's round and it's got these two lines on it that are arced. That allows me to just, I'm going to click on it and hold it and turn it. And you'll see the degrees box here. I know I want to go 90 degrees, so I'm just going to type in 90 right there. Now, one more turn, or I got another one to do right here. So I'm going to click and hold and turn. And this is going to be 90 again. And then I have to rotate this one more time this way, and that is 90. So sometimes you'll have to do this 2 or 3 times to get it spun in the direction that you want it to go. Now we're going to use a couple of these things called mates. Well, we're going to use more than a couple. We're going to use multiple mates, but we're going to use the same one pretty exclusively. And this is called the tangent mate. And I'm going to click on that. Now when you want to make something tangent, you can select a face, an edge, or a vertex. I'm going to click on edges. So for instance, I want this green part, okay, and you can see it just said edge of part 1, to be touching this lower corner or lower, it is a corner on this blue part. So when I click on that, it goes up and in this place, and I hit the green check mark. Now, this isn't where it should be sitting. Right now, let's see, I'll show you. This face right here should be sitting right up against this face. So I'm going to start my tangent mate again, and I'll click on this left hand edge, and it's got the edge of the part, and this one, and green check mark. And if I put my cursor on that blue part, it shouldn't move. Click and hold, it shouldn't move anywhere. So I just need to do a couple of tangent mates to get this to go in. Now I'm going to spin this part around and put in my third cube. And my third cube, I'm going to use the insert tool here, is going to be this orange part. In my puzzle cube, it's this yellow one. So I'm going to click on the orange one, and I'll come out here and I'll just drop it in place, and then green check mark. And this is in the orientation that I want it to be in, so I don't have to turn it or spin it or anything right now. So the easiest thing for me to do is to go to my tangent mate, and I want this corner of this part to touch this corner of this blue one. So I'll click on the blue corner, and I'll click on the orange corner, and I will green check mark. Now the next thing is, I'll put my cursor on here, and you can see this can still move all over the place, right? I'm just going to leave this in place, and I'll use the undo tool just to get it back to where it was. So I'm going to start my mate up again, my tangent mate, and I'm going to use this corner in this puzzle cube to that one. And I'll green check mark, and when I touch my orange cube, I can't move it any place. Next one I'm going to put in is this red one right here. So I'm going to use insert. I'll go to the red part, I'll come out here to my screen and click, and this red part, I'll green check mark that first. This red part has to rotate so that this edge is up. So it has to rotate around. So I'll just click and get my icon up here, and I'll click and hold on that and turn it, and then put in 90 degrees. There we go. Okay. Now I got to decide what tangencies I want to use. So I'm going to use the tangent mate for this corner right here, and just so you can see it easier, I'll spin it around, and I think I did this right. That one right there. Yeah, I did. Okay. So that puts that in place. I can show it to you from the front. I'll green check mark this, and then we'll go back to that view. Okay. Now I want to use my tangent mate, and I'm going to put this edge and that edge together, green check mark, and click on this, and it's not moving any place. I got one more part to put in. So I'm going to look at this from the bottom, and you can see this is kind of a intricate one, right? It comes all the way down here, and it goes over, and then down, and then it's like a couple of Z's or something. So what I can do here is I'll go back to my isometric view just to, go back to home base, and then I'll rotate around a couple times and just get, this corner visible to me. Insert tool, and this is my black part, and I'll come out here, and what's the good news here is that I do not need to spin this one around at all. So now I'm going to tangent mate this corner here to that one, and then the last tangent mate is green check mark that while I'm thinking about it. Okay, and then I'll start my tangent made up again. I'll get this corner of this one to this corner of this one, and I'll green check mark. And if I take a look at that now from the bottom, you can see that it's going to be perfect. All right. So let's go back to the isometric view. And there we go. So that's our isometric view. And our part is, our puzzle cube is completely assembled. So that's what you need to do.